It was 2010, I'm seeing all these things and I'm wondering, how can you tell us to come back on July and this is around February and you can see how she is? And then the doctor told me, do you think you're the only one who have a problem? There are people who even have a bigger problem than you. So you go and just come back at that time. And that's when we became proactive. And we started talking to people. My name is Peter. I don't like mentioning the last name a lot. So I like using Peter Terry. Yeah, Terry is my mom. No, it's not that personal because when I think about my dad is one who made me to be the person that I am today. And that's because I like to do what he did not do. So he disappeared when I was very young. So I didn't even have time to meet him. Let me say it was tough one, like I've said, because my mom being a single mom. And I don't have any recollection of my dad. It just means that my dad left when I was very young. So my mom had 8 kids to take care of. And with all that pressure, I think my mom sometimes was so much stressed. And I think it's what we call right now depression. And she would come home when she's really mad. And she don't care whether you're a kid or not. If you do a mistake, you're given a thorough beating, a good one. But I thank her because that made me who I am right now. So I didn't mind like that. But it was tough one. Let me say it was tough. First of all, because of not having a dad and having the last name with your mom name. It was like ridiculous. It's not like nowadays whereby having a name of your mom or coming from a single mom family, it's not a big deal. That was a big deal. And it made me to be ridiculed a lot. So it was really tough. And I didn't have even somebody to be a father figure, no kind of thing. So it was really, it's not that easy. It was really hard. It affected me in so many ways because my self-esteem was really destroyed. I had siblings who were older than me. And all the time, because being the youngest, being the last born, I was not given time to speak or that opportunity to hear my views. You're not supposed to talk when we are talking. You have to keep. And this went on even when I was a teenager, even when I was a young adult. And that made me to think that maybe I'm not supposed to talk in front of people. And I could avoid as much as I can not talk in front of people. So I can say it affected my self-esteem a lot. My self-confidence appeared because of hardship. It was just like I had to gain my self-confidence. I remember when I finished Form 4, we had a call with my mom because I really wanted to be independent. And I found it hard to work at home, do the chores. And when you have to ask for money, and sometimes that money is not there, or my mom does not want to give you the money. She asks you, why do you need money? You have food, you have clothes, why do you need money? But you know the clothes that your mom is buying is not the one that you want. You want a particular kind of a style, being a young adult. And I started looking for jobs, these manual jobs, and I found one. My mom was not happy about that. She treated that one as being rebellious. And she told me that it seemed that now you're mature enough. You are showing me, or you're trying to prove to me that you can take care of yourself. So from now on, you don't come back here. I thought this was a joke, and I didn't take it seriously. And I went to my work, where I was working in Tikijabi Hospital. And when I came back, I found these 2 padlocks. Yeah, the one which I had to close my cubicle with, and another one on top of it. You know that story of a landlord and a landlady, eh? And I felt like, wow, is this a joke? And I remember it was at night. I tried to call my mom. She was sleeping and she ignored me. Yeah, I was kind of mad because she was a church person. I started now talking in a rude way, and I was telling her, you are saved that you are doing these things and you're supposed to be the one who is laughing a lot kind of thing. And this was really mad. So the following day, she threw everything outside, including my clothes and everything. She told me to go. And I collected my everything and I decided, no, now I have to go. But I decided, let me go to my brother who is in Karatina. He's a doctor. Maybe he can hear my case. Because the job which I was doing is not permanent. It's a casual job. And I remember that day was my last day, that casual job. So I took the money that I had, I traveled all the way to Nyeri. But my brother did not take it rightly. And he was really mad because he could not understand why come I cannot be able to patch up things with mom. And he told me you have to go back home. I didn't have that a lot of money because that's what I had made that day. And I refused to go. And I stayed outside for some time. Then I came back around 7. And my brother told me, you have to go, you're not coming back in this house. I thought it's a joke again, but he did not open the door, and it was very cold. So I decided, because I used to stay with my brother when I was in high school, I knew around, and I knew there was a toilet there of the church which was very clean. So I went there and spent the night there. So the following morning I thought maybe my brother will feel something and house me. But when I went there, he was really still mad and all kind of thing, and he told me, you have to go. I don't want to see you. He went for this plunger of the toilet. I had to run for my life, and he threw my shoe, because you remember the way you normally remove shoes when you get in a house. He threw my shoes. I took my shoe. Then he told the watchman never to allow me to come back there. So I decided, enough is enough. Let me go home. I didn't have enough money, and I walked all the way from Karatina to Sagana by foot. By the time I'm reaching Sagana, my feet were really hurting, and because walking that distance is not a joke. And I was praying on the way, and I was wondering, why is God is not hearing my prayers and all kind of things. And it reached somewhere. When I reached Makutano, I said, no, I can't move on anymore. And I told God, you either kill me or you give me transport to go home. And I said, I will count 3 cars. The first car will pass, it's okay. The third one, but if the third one passes and you have not given me somewhere a transport, I will just lie on the road and be knocked by a car. And that's what happened. The first one passed, the second one passed, the third one passed. I was really heartbroken. You know the way you want to kill yourself, but you don't have the courage to do it, and you don't have the guts. But I said I have to do it, and I just went to the center of the road. I don't know where the third car was a truck. I don't know whether they were looking with the side mirror or what, because the moment I stepped on the road, they stopped, and I'm here crying like a baby. And this guy, I think the town boy, came back and they told me, why are you doing this? And I told them, no, I want to go to Nairobi and I don't have any transport. But why are you doing this? I don't remember what I was telling him, but I was telling him some words. I don't know what I was telling him. But whatever I was saying, he had mass on me, and they gave me a lift. It was around 5, so, and they were coming to Thika, and they came all the way. You see the truck is moving very slowly. So the time we are reaching Thika is around 11 or something there. I can't remember the time very well. And they dropped me there. Then they told me, no, we can't go beyond this, but we can give you fare to Nairobi. So they gave me 50 bob. By that time it was 30 bob from Blue Post. So I took a matatu there, and I came. My idea was that whatever was remaining cannot be able to get me home. So my idea was, I get to Koja, I get in a matatu. You know, they cannot ask for money before you get in the car. So along the way, I will just pretend I've lost my money. If they want to beat me, they beat me, but I'm at home. Whatever they will take, they take. And I came to Koja, but unfortunately, Koja bus stop was clear. There was nobody there, no matatu, no nothing. And I told God, no, I'm still going home because I cannot sleep here. That time there was a group cinema. There was no those bypass and all kind of things, those flyovers. So I decided to go home, and I'm walking from Koja now, and I'm going in the middle of a roundabout. You see, there was a roundabout, so I'm going on the other side. And I remember that Chocolate used to say that. I even saw them another day. They're still there, but my mind was not calculating that there was Chocolates there. My mind was, I was going home. When I'm in the middle of the roundabout, that's when I remembered this Chocolates here, they can harm me. So I started walking faster. By the time I'm reaching the other side, so that I can be able to cross to Museum Road, that's when I had a tap on my shoulder. I'm carrying my bag with my belongings, and the guy say, "Toa kila kitu uko nayo." And then the guy had a knife, Somali sword, and I saw death. And I think that's the time that you realize that you wanted to die, but you're not ready to die. My mind told me that instead of being stabbed by this guy and carry everything, you better be knocked by a car. You go to Kenyatta Hospital. In fact, there was no way I can die. And then I wanted to punish my brother and my mom by making them to pay hospital bill and to feel even sorry what they have done to me. So I decided to close the road at high speed. I don't know what happened, because no car which knocked me. I don't know whether I was disappointed or not. But the guy who was behind me now, this Chocolate, because he came after me, he was the one who was knocked. I had cool, and I saw him on air. But when I saw that I was really now scared, I'm freaking out, I ran as fast as I could. Along the Museum Road, there was some restaurant made of mabatis. I was so scared because I thought maybe the other guys, they are also coming. So I went to one of it, which was open. And I remember telling this guy a lot of things which I don't know what I was telling him, but he told me, cool down. Just sit down. I was very hungry. I had not eaten last night. I had not eaten the whole day. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And then the guy told me, so sit down and we'll see what we can do. And after he gave me some a cup of tea and some mandazis, he told me that, what is your problem? So I narrated the whole story. And he asked me, how can I help you? I told him, let me sleep here. Then tomorrow I'll proceed. He told me, no, this is not my place. And my boss will be so mad if he find you in the morning. But I can help you. Because opposite there was a petrol station, and he told me there's some vehicles which you come there, there are trucks which go through your road. I know most of the guys. So you can talk to them and they give you a lift. And eventually, we stayed there around almost 1. Eventually, there's a truck which came and he talked to them, but they were going to my Mahi. And my home place is in Magina in Kijabi. So you can see they have to blatch a little bit and go to my Mahi, but I didn't mind. But they told me, no, we'll go and drop you in my Mahi, we'll leave you there, we'll give you transport money and somewhere to sleep, we'll pay for you somewhere to sleep. I think it was God. And then you proceed the following morning. And that's what this guy did. I went there and they left me in a restaurant. Even the restaurant guy gave me somewhere to clean up myself. And the following morning, I went back home. And there was a track which was really broken down. So that became my place for sleeping. I could sleep there, then I would go to a certain restaurant in my home, and I could stay there whole day watching TV and sometimes helping the guy to wipe the table and that kind of things. And then he could have muscle on me and I have a mandas and all kind of thing. I was so proud to even look for a job because I thought, I passed KCC. I'm smart. I'm not supposed to do manual job. So I'm not doing Mujego or anything. But I think that was the biggest mistake that I did. And I stayed 4 months. Then eventually, I think 2 months or 3 months, eventually, the truck where I used to sleep was taken away. So that's my home going. I remember coming in the evening and finding the place where it was to be empty. I was really heartbroken. I cried a lot. Then I started now sleeping on the corridors. Now, one day, this guy of the restaurant realized that I'm not the person that I used to be. So he asked me all the problem, but I could not talk about it. I told him, no, I'm okay, I'm all right. One day he followed me and he saw where I was sleeping. And he really didn't msomo because he asked me, how can you be able to be sleeping outside and coming to my restaurant each and every day? Don't tell me you have a problem. And there's a lot of job that you can do. And I asked him, which kind of job do you want? He said, there's a way that you can go and till people's land and you're given money. I could not imagine myself digging someone's land and planting all kind of things. I cared of my hands so much, and then saying, I'm smart. I have a bee, I got a bee, and then you want me to go and dig and my hands become hard like a stone. I can't do that. But he told me, you need to start somewhere. Life starts like this, and I will do something for you. I will give you a jebe. I will even rent your house, and from there, you start all over. And that's what he did. The following day, he gave me a jebe. He even connected me with a guy who was able to give me the first job. And I remember first night sleeping indoors. I had no mattress, nothing. It's just only a piece of carton boxes, which I made to be my mattress. And I really slept well. It was my wonderful night ever. I can still remember. It was really sweet sleeping indoors. So the following day, I went to the shaba and I made my 100 bob. And I came back. I remember that night singing in the house, as if I'm the richest man in the whole world. It was really awesome. It was a good feeling, actually. And if there's something that changed my life, it's that place. So it used to be called Bethany Crippled Children's Center by that time. And I think right now it have changed the name. It's a branch of Kijabi Hospital. That's why I started my job. I could clear the land and we glassed everything, the glass and all kind of thing. And after some years, I think it's what we now call kuomoka. Mimi nikaomoka. So nilikuwa nimeomoka, so even I moved from like a place which I had, I could buy even a TV. That time having a great TV, the black and white, it was a big deal, something even to talk about. The whole village knew that I have a TV. And even now I have got so many friends. I have so many friends that I have and all kind of thing. And my life changed and I could save some little money here and there. And but still, I could not be able to face my mom. I was really mad. Totally mad because I could not understand why she did like that. But right now when I look at it, it was required. I was a proud guy. I was full of pride. And if my mom did not do that, I could be a very bad person right now as an adult. Because that whole process harbored me. Going through those problems harbored me. But I had not given up going to campus actually. So I started saving money when I was doing that job. Because eventually I was given that job like a permanent issue. You can see I started as a cashier, then I was sent away. Then when I came back, I was given a good job. And I was given a contract whereby I could clear the land and all kind of thing, and I'm given money each and every month. So it's like I'm employed. It's not permanent, but the funds are permanent. They are coming each and every month. And I did well, and I was able to save a bit of money because I wanted to put myself in college. But I remember one day, the boss who was there, when he was going back to America, we were two guys who were provided with a contract. He said, no, the institute cannot be able to afford two people because this job can be done by one person. So we'll pick on one person. But unfortunately, this guy had come there before me. So he was picked. And I was told that you're given 3 months so that you can be able to prepare yourself and get another job. Telling a person like that when you have skills and training is not a big deal. 3 months are a lot of things that can be able to get a job. But telling someone 3 months and you don't have the skill, you don't have the course and all kind of things, it's really stressful. And I don't know how my brother knew, the doctor one. He called me one day and asked me, you said you never go back to college. I said, I never say that. I'm ready, by the way. He told me, what do you have? I told him, no, I have some cash here. He told me, I'll add up that one, what you have. Can you go look for a college and all kind of thing? And that's how I went to JKUAT. And I went back there and my brother took over. My life changed totally. My life changed and I was able to go to campus and finish my degree. Despite being broke most of the time, but I was really able to make it. I didn't mind about that. I love science, and I think chemistry is one of my favorite things. It's natural to me. It's natural to me. I have a dream that we can be able to change a lot through science. And it doesn't matter whether I teach kids, they pass that science, they become doctors, or they become what they become. But I believe that science is one of the courses that you can be able to change a lot of things. You can be a researcher, you can do other things. I really wanted to change something, yes, through science. She had joined the class before me, so she was 1 semester ahead of me. And but our class and the way we used to go to study most of the time, it was adjacent where you do our private study, and she could pass there. And she was really talkative. I really like talkative because I really like listening. And she could give me a lot of, so she had a lot of stories, and she could laugh a lot. And eventually became friends. But she was dating, and I was single because my mind right now, going through all that life, I was focusing on studies all the time. And she was dating, but I was single. But I could see she was a good lady. But I could not tell her because it's a little weird to tell somebody you want them to be a girl, and already they're talking about their boyfriend. To be weird. So I waited. The time they told me they have a problem with their boyfriend. So that's why I hit the nail on the head. And I didn't give good report about that guy. I didn't even encourage her to make up with that guy because, my advice was subjective. When you see a good lady, you have to forget about other people and you think about yourself. And I had seen we had become very close. We are really good friends. She could understand me a lot, and she was not closome a lot. She was not that people who are closome. It was straight. So we became friends, and when the boyfriend messed up, I was ready to jump in, and she said no. She said no, and I remember she said no. He said no, I don't want to lose as a friend. I said let's risk it. You better lose me as a friend, but I don't miss an opportunity to make you to be my wife. And we laughed it off actually, but eventually some few months, she never said yes, but I found out she's becoming fond of me a lot, and. When we are going for our vacation, I told her I want to take you to my mama. And she said yes. That's what I knew, she's my girl. And I took her to my mom. My mom was very happy about this. And we hit it off. But she was really supportive. I was always broke in school. And she knew if she tell me she's going to give me money, I will say no. And she could tell me that I'm very bad with money. If I stay with it, I'm going to use it a lot. Can you keep this 1,000 for me? And I could keep it. And then she tell me, sometimes she just tell me, hebu nipeleke pahali. And then we go, he just tell me, she knew very well I don't have fare. She'll tell me, pay the fare. So nobody knew. Even I remember my friends telling me that I use a lot of money on her. And I could laugh because I knew that it's not my money actually, it's her money. She was really supportive. And she could use all the tricks to make sure, the money you go, she could really play tricks so that I can not be able to feel as if I'm not money enough. And I think something that I can say, that girl was my best friend. She became a best friend, and she became literally a soulmate. And when we finished our course, we could not wait. We got married immediately. we got married immediately. We started life from the scratch, from a single room. I remember a single room which was not having perfect vertices. It's not the one that you find that it has good corners. It was a little bit like a triangle or something like that. I remember you could put bed, but there's a space which is being left because the bed cannot be able to fit. And there was a lot of cockroaches in that room, but we were very happy. We were very, very happy. We could cook with the stove, and you remember how the problem was stove. So it's me, but the joy in that house was really awesome. And this woman, we really had a good time. There's no one time, I don't have any recollection whereby we had an argument that I can see. I remember at that time we argued with my girlfriend or with my wife. We didn't argue. I don't know how we used to do it, but it's like we are wired together, and we were good friends. And I can say that apart from having my career, I think the best gift I got from that school is having a wife. It was a beautiful thing. Totally smooth. I've never seen something which was very, very easy like that. It was really smooth. We had their blessing and everything. I had met their parents even before we cleared our campus, and she had met my parents before we cleared campus, and she was likable. At home, I don't think anybody could have said no or bring in a problem, because I remember when we went home for the first time, and he was looking this kind of lady who were high class. But I remember when we went home first time, and people are in the kitchen, you know, the orchard thing, like a kitchen outside with the firewood and smoke. In fact, I used to avoid that room, but for her, she took the sukkah and went down in there and started joining my sister and started cooking. They were really impressed. So and their parents also, they were very humble people. They didn't have any problem. So it was smooth, I can say that. So we opted to stay for a year before we get a kid, and then our second year in marriage, we said no, we're gonna have a baby, and it was okay because we had a job which was not paying that well, but we were able to do so many things, including moving from that small room to 1-bedroom house. So it was really nice, and we got our baby girl on 2009 May 24th, and everything was okay. But 6 months down the line, my wife started having stomach problems, and we could go from one hospital to another, and we could not get any help. Any kind of medicine we were given, they were not working, and it really used our funds that we had saved. We moved from one hospital to another, all kind of things. And one day, I think one of the church member told us, "Why don't you just try a can?" And we asked ourselves, "A can? We are even barely surviving because this sickness have taken all our money." But I told my wife, "No, let's try it. Let's try it and see how it can be. Whatever they're going to tell us, at least even if we know where the problem is, it will be better." And I remember one day, it was on Sunday. We were really planning to go there. And one Sunday, we went to church. That's where we were living in Car West. We went to church. We are fellowship in AIC Car West. We went to the church. And when we went to the church, the stomach problem started while he's still in the church. And one of the members was really concerned, and they asked us, "Where can I help you? Where can we take you?" And I said, "Aga Khan." And I remember that time I had only 300 in my pocket. And we went to Aga Khan. The consultation fee itself was really scary. But I just told them, "Go ahead, I will pay the money. I'm looking for money." And the tests were done. And when they looked at us, one of the doctors, she realized that I don't have money. And she called me aside and told me, "Even if I go ahead and do the test and all kind of thing, it will cost you a lot of money, because we are talking about here 60,000 for the test only. You have not paid the consultation fee and all kind of thing. However, I'm suspecting your wife has a problem, and this is a big problem, which I think it may be cancer. I don't want to scare you, but it can be. So instead of me charging you all that money, like I see you don't have that money, I'll give you a number of my lecturer who was there in UN, in Bagathi. You go there and they do the test." That lady did all the booking and everything. And 2 days later, we went there, and the test was done, and we had to wait for some day. And I remember being scared so much to get the result. I was the one who was really heartbroken, but I could not be able to show it to my wife because she was really strong, and he was telling me that whatever it is, I will get all of it. We will do this one together. And eventually the result came, and he said it's cancer, and it was stage 4. That was more shocking and more heartbreaking than even getting the news themselves. And I remember that day traveling back home, I could look at people and see a couple smiling and all kind of thing and ask God, all these people around us, why us? You have given us perfect life, you have a kid, we are doing well, we are growing, then all of a sudden you hit us with this one, what did we do? You know those kind of questions that you ask yourself. You call God for a meeting, you just empty your anger and all kind of thing. That's what I did. And I can say I was really stressed. I was not ready to lose her at all. I was not ready at all. And we went back home, we could pray a lot, and we booked for an appointment in Kenyatta. And when we went there, we were shown a list. I remember it was around February, if I'm not wrong, and they were telling us to come back in July. It was 2010. I'm seeing all these things and I'm wondering, how can you tell us to come back on July and this is around February, and you can see how she is? And then the doctor told me, do you think you're the only one who have a problem? There are people who even have a bigger problem than you. So you go and just come back at that time. And that's when we became proactive. And we started talking with people as much as I can. And that's the moment that we spread the news to the family. And my wife's family, one of the two brothers and one sister was in South Africa. And when they heard the news, said, no, we cannot wait for you to go up to July. We will look for a way that you can be able to come over here and you'll be treated when you're here. It will only take some few months. So from there now even things become, I don't know what happened because the pain subsided a little bit, that now it was not occurring frequently the way it was before. It was really terrible because I remember one time that she called me when I was at the workplace and I found her leaning on the seat like this one, and the place in the stomach there. She was really crying. I can still see hear her sob as she was crying. It was really painful. But this time it has subsided and she was doing well. And but she has lost a lot of weight. So we were able to get fat. We arranged for the passport. You know, the baby was small, so she had to go with the baby, but I was to remain behind because the idea was she goes to become treated, then she come back after maybe 6 months or so. Instead of staying there for a few months, it became a big deal. The cancer has really eaten her up, and they had said that it will be treated in stages. So this is not something they can be able to stop. So we were separated for a year, almost a year. And then now we start now planning how I can be able to join her. But I don't know why the brother-in-law did not want me to go there. One of the brother-in-law. And she could ask my wife, anakuja kufanya nini? Why don't just leave him alone and we continue life here? And they had a quarrel a lot. They quarreled a lot. And she said, I better be sick and be in pain, but I'm with my family. Because that's also matters a lot. By that time, she already had gone for first treatment. It had worked well, the first surgery. It had worked very well. She had gone for chemo and all kind of thing, and she was now regaining her health. She was really doing well. She was really beautiful. And she was almost being given a clean bill of health. She was still going for her clinics and all kind of thing, but there was no chemo which is being done. And eventually we were able to do a lot of things, and she was able to connect me, and I was able to travel there. But it was a big problem because he did it against her brother's wish. And I remember that time we could not be able to raise enough money for air ticket. I have no idea how she got a weed that there's a truck which usually carries things from here, Kenya, all the way to South Africa by road. And she had already connected with it, even said, even calculated the kind of money I'm going to use. And eventually I got that truck and I traveled. We traveled for almost a week and 5 days on the road. But I say it was really enjoyable, traveling by road all that time. And I reached there around 3 a.m. They picked me up from where the truck was stopping and went home. The following day was a clinic day. And I was excited to take her to the clinic. And we went for a clinic and she was done some tests. Only the doctor to say that the cancer is back. So that's how I was welcomed back in her life. In fact, I felt that, am I the one who is bringing this cancer? Because it's like when I'm not there, the cancer is not there. When I come here, the cancer is back again, and she's been doing so well. And then to make the matter worse, this doctor told me that this time, the cancer is now aggressive. And even the chemo which they have cannot work on her. That was Johannesburg Annex Hospital. You need to do it somewhere else in a private hospital. And the kind of money they wanted, you can see I've just landed in South Africa. I don't have that money. She did not have much money, but I said, why don't you talk with your brother, because they're already well off. They helped me to form a harabe, and then we raised that money. Because I heard that they usually form those harabes when somebody gets sick, and or someone pass away. They form those groups, and they come up with kind of money, and that money is used to fend the body back at home. And I told them, why don't we do the same thing? If you can do that for a dead person, what about someone who is saving the life? And my brother told me that I know what you want. I remember him telling me that I know what you want. You want me to use my money so that I can be able to treat your wife. I am tired of doing things for people. It's my time also to do my own things. It was really heartbreaking. I tried to beg him. I told him, don't give me the money for free, but at least just give it to me. Just give it to me for some time. We didn't get money. I think that's where everything went south. It was painful by that time because I tried to talk to him a lot. And I told him, don't give me your money. Just organize something for me. And then I'll be able to talk to people, because I don't know anybody here. You know, the Kenyans who are here and who can be able to help us. And he really totally ignored. He totally ignored. Kabisa totally. And then they reached somewhere. They were two brothers, So the little brother again, the one who was younger than him, lost the wife all of a sudden. And we went for the memorial. And when we went to the memorial, one guy who was the friend to that little brother, he said, sometimes I'm really disappointed with you Kenyans here. You just wait and call people to come together to solicit for funds. You solicit for funds when someone dies. Why don't you call someone why don't you call us to look for money when someone is still alive to save their life? And he was talking with a lot of bitterness and a lot of things. And I remember my wife and I looking at each other and saying, that's our age now. This is our age, God have sent somebody. And this is after some months down the line. I remember it's either 3 or 4, I don't remember very well, but some months we had really struggled because now she was doing chemo to stop the cancer from spreading, not to solve it. And this chemo used to be so bad because the more she take it, she will become like a crippled person for 3 days. And we don't have money, we don't have even money to employ house help. And it was really, really bad. So I talked to this guy later, and he heard our story and said, no, I will help you. And he acted immediately, because I remember the following day we traveled all the way to Pretoria to a private hospital. And my wife was done with the test and all kind of thing. And I was very happy because I knew now my wife's life will be changed. But when the result came back, they said that the cancer is beyond control. Nothing can be done. And he really insisted. I remember him insisting. He was an old man. He insisted, there's nothing I can do. I will offer anything to make sure that I save this lady's life. How much it will cost? There's nothing that we can do. And say, no, there's nothing. We don't want to use your money, then the lady dies. The only thing you can do, why don't you just take this lady to hospice, or you employ a nurse to take care of her as she just live her last days. I remember them saying last days, and it's really heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking. Then the doctor called me aside and tells me, are you the husband? I said, yes. He asked me, do you have kids? Yes, I said, we have one kid. And then he tell me, point blank, be ready to be a single father. It will only take 3 months. Your wife is going. So be ready. I could not cry because I did not want my wife to know what's going on. And I kind of kept quiet. And we went home. I remember that day because we went to my brother's house, this elder brother. I remember immediately we reached home, we went to the bedroom and we really cried. I remember we cried and our daughter came there. We could not control. This is not the place that you say you don't want your daughter to see your tears. We really cried. And I remember my wife being concerned, and we prayed a lot. And we asked God, why can't you just intervene? Please do something. We stayed there, we prayed the whole of the night. It was a really sad moment, very sad moment. And I was hoping God would do something. And as the day went by, she became worse and worse and worse. And I could see her slipping out of my hands. I could not even face her. Whenever I look at her, I used to feel a lot of pain because I asked myself, I love her so much, but I cannot help her. I wished God can be able to just give me a little pain of her, because it was really painful. She has lost weight again. She's so thin. Her stomach is growing big. He's sweating all the time. She cannot walk and all kind of thing. But the younger brother really was understanding, but he didn't have money. And he told me, there's no need of you guys staying alone. Let me take her in you'll be coming to visit most of the time. We were living like, let me say, maybe we are here in Nairobi, and I was staying in somewhere like Limuru. And now I could travel from Limuru each and every weekend and come and visit her and go back for a day. So the brother could be able to take care of her. And then the hospice was near where she was. So the nurse could come and even administer morphine and all kind of things. So yes, she was not that pain when she was in morphine. But you know, the moment she takes morphine, she's sleeping. And then one day, I remember eventually after some few months, and I remember it was around February. 2012. When I went to visit her, she called me and she told me, Peter, I want to prepare you. I think I have fought all I can, and I feel I've lost the battle. And I don't want to go without a goodbye. I could stop her. Please don't say like that. She said, no, can you let me speak? Because I really feel this is it. I cannot be able to fight anymore. That time she was very weak. She was not getting out of bed and all kind of this. Is real pain. The morphine is not even working. And she told me, I would like you to make sure that you take care of our daughter. I don't want our daughter one day to remember me and say that I wish my mother did not die. Take care of her as much as you can. Let her be her first priority. I listened to her. And I said, even I've given you permission to remarry. But make sure the person that you remarry does not harass our daughter or do something or molest her in any way. But I think this is it. I was really trying to be strong, but I couldn't. You know, the time that you really want to be strong, but you find your tears are just dripping down. It was like that. It was really painful. And I went back to work. And I remember that time it was a holiday. I think it was Heritage Day in South Africa. And I remember her calling me some few days later. And she called me, she told me, babe, I'm done now. I'm going to the that was it. She was not able even to find the word hospital. By that time, the ambulance had been called, and now this guy who was helping us, he called our ambulance because it was now she could not be able to take it anymore. The pain was too much, and they had to induce the coma. I remember that time I could not be able to work or do anything, and I had to go. And I remember telling my brother, we need to go. My brother-in-law now. And because it was very busy, he said, you just wait. I said, I cannot wait. If you want to fire me, you can fire me. But I was working for him. But I have to go. So he said, let's go together. I think even him was worried. We went. And the time I was reaching the hospice, he was already in coma. He's not moving, he's not doing anything. He was just lying there. I could not move away from her bed. And I just sat there beside her bed and held her hands. And around 6 o'clock that day, she passed away because I remember I was holding her hands. Then I felt she's cold all of a sudden. And then that's when we panicked and when you know someone is dying but you don't want them to die, you still cannot come into terms that they are going to die. It was my first time to lose someone who is very close to me. And her dying on me holding her hands, I think it was the best thing. I usually tell God, thank God that you let her pass when I was there. At least I was able to spend her last moment with her. And we called the nurse and they came and checked her and they said, yeah, she's gone. You know, that's the time that you feel like a million needles are pinching you all over the place. You're just being pierced with the needles all over the place. I'm unable to cry. I'm unable to react. I'm like, I've lost everything in this world. And I think there's no time, even right now. There's nothing which have ever happened to me that hit me like that day. I was really hit. And I tried to cry, I can't cry. I went outside. I feel like screaming, I can't scream. And as the day went by, the pain was piling up and piling up. I could not even believe that she's dead. I cannot even recall what I was thinking, but it was really stressful. And the problem is that nobody around me was realizing that I was going through a hard time. I'm looking at my daughter and I'm looking at her and I wonder, what is it? So from there, my life lost meaning. I could not see even the reason to live. I think Kaida thought, now I'm done also. I want to follow her. And now suicide thoughts started coming over and over again. But eventually, because of so many people coming there, I was able to relax some time. And eventually we came back here, we did the burial, and then I went back again. And when I went back, I think when I came back here, I was really okay. I was feeling good and all kind of thing. And I felt I can be able to, I'm ready to move on. But the moment I went back to South Africa, I think he's now seeing the same scenes and being alone. This is my daughter here asking where did mama go. It was really painful, and I was in a lot of pain, and I was really depressed. I think I was in depression, but nobody cared because I could cry every day. I'm at workplace, I could go to the toilet, I cry. Then I wash my face and I come back smiling, and I thought nobody cares. But eventually, this younger brother, because of him going through the same thing that I was going through, he realized it. For him, he went to the alcohol. Because I don't drink, I could not go to alcohol. And he raised my problem, and he told me, you know what I was going through after my wife passed? The way I was drinking every day is because I was feeling the way you are feeling. And if you continue like this, I know what you're feeling. I know even you feel like killing yourself and all kind of thing. And I said yes, because I remember one day I really wanted to kill myself. I had I was driving at work, and I decided there was a ditch somewhere, and there was a dam down there. And I wanted to drive myself down that place. And when I reached there that day, I found that the police had a roadblock that place. And I was like, God, why are you stopping me? I don't want to live anymore. Why are you doing this? I was really heartbroken. I said, even I'm going to go to work, let me go back home. I went home and I found my daughter. I don't know what my daughter sensed. That time it was three years. She came and said, Daddy, are you okay? I said, I am. He said, no. He came and sat on my lap here. And with her little hands, he held me on my cheeks like this and said, Daddy, don't worry. I will take care of you. You can see this is a 3 years old telling you that. And those words were like, this is not my daughter talking. This is God talking to me and telling me everything's gonna be all right. And I think that was my wake-up call. I said, I can't kill myself. I will fight this. But fighting this was a problem. That's why I was saying I used to go to the tent, cry all the time. Nobody cares and all kind of thing. And when this brother realized that, he told me, I will take you somewhere where I went. You remember the way I almost destroyed my life with drinking and all kind of thing, and you can see the way I am right now. I will take you to the same counselor and she will help you. And I went to that counselor and she talked to me and she told me that you need to take antidepressant because you are depressed. It will help you to overcome that pain. And but she told me, the moment you start taking these drugs, there is possibility that you become addicted and not going to get over it. So if either you deal with this thing without drugs, or you take drugs but you live on drugs forever. I said I want the drugs. The pain was too much. Then I went home and I caught myself in the mirror and I asked myself, Peter, what are you doing? Do you remember the word that your wife spoke when she was dying? Her last words, the last conversation that you ever had, the last dialogue that you ever had? She told you to take care of your daughter. So it means that this time it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about this little girl. So can you not stop being selfish and be able to stand and be able to take care of your daughter? And I took those drugs and flushed them down the toilet. I was able to heal, but still I could not even date. I could not even think that I can be able to fall in love again. And I stayed for a long time before even starting dating. I would say I started dating after 2 years after saying that I'm healed now. I started dating, but you feel that the person I was dating I knew very well. I did not have those feelings. I was forcing them. And I found that this thing is not going to work. So I could get one relationship and I break out of it because this person realized this person doesn't even care about me. Because even I could forget even they exist, even I don't call them, we don't have any conversation. Every time we are talking, and I think that's the most mistake that we make when you lose your loved one. We are talking and I'm telling them, you know, my wife this, my wife that. I keep on saying about my wife. And nobody will stay there and listen to you talking about your wife, the way she was good and all kind of thing. I remember when my wife died, my brother was very cruel to me. My brother-in-law was really cruel to me, and he even transferred me all the way from where I was working in Johannesburg to the border of Zimbabwe. I was working there, and I could not go with my daughter. And we had a quarrel because he wanted to stay with my daughter, but I want to stay with my daughter. And I don't know why he did that, because eventually he started now framing me for things I didn't do. The business, he employed another lady in that business, the shop, and this lady could steal a lot. And because I was the manager there, I could tell my brother, this lady is stealing. Even I caught her red-handed stealing, but my brother had none of it. And then he told me, I'll come on this day, we discuss about it. And when he came, and I think that now we discussed about the lady, he said, it's about you. We know a lot of things that you have been doing. We know you have been stealing from us, even this lady knows, that's why you had employed her here. And it became a police case. And eventually he fired me. And everything was freezed, everything which I had, because he fired me. Then I don't know what went wrong, because I was called from immigration and they told me that my permit, I acquired it through false pretense. And I wondered, why is this going on? And when I went there, it was really cancelled. And the moment you do like that, it's means that everything that you have is the government properties. So the government took everything which I had. I could not be able to operate in the account or anything. And I lost everything. I thought I lost everything, home, everything. I lost everything. But I decided I'm not going back home empty-handed. I can't. There's no way. And this is the government telling you, we're giving you 24 hours to clear from our country. But I said I can't, because I had only a few coins in my pocket. So what I've saved, I said now I can start hawking. And one of my former colleagues took in my daughter, because now I traveled away from the Zimbabwe border. I came back to Johannesburg, and because I had some colleagues there before, they took my daughter, so they could take care of my daughter during the day, and I could go hawking. I was hawking in Soweto. Soweto, that's where I was hawking. And I could hawk, but the money I'm making is so little, and I have to travel back home. They are using public means more expensive than private cars. So I'm using more money on the transport because I don't have a car, I don't have anything. I've lost everything. And it reached somewhere I said, now I need to look for someone who can stay with my daughter at least. I talked to them and told them, can I be able to be spending more nights there? I come after 2 days, and they accepted. I really struggled, but I was not making anything. And one day out of nowhere, my friend who is a policeman, he calls me and he tells me, the police have got where you are. Already you're staying here illegally and they're coming for you. And I asked him, what do I do? He told me the only thing you can do is to get on the country right now. But I told him I don't have money. He told me, don't worry, I will come for you where you are. I will pay your ticket, you will go. And the guy came, and after he came, he picked me up with my daughter, and we packed everything, and we came back in Kenya. And you can see I'm coming back in Kenya without anything. And I'm coming back in Kenya after all those years. We are coming back in 2014, and I went there around 2010 when it's coming to the end. So you can just already have lost network. I don't have anything. So, and coming back here, it was not a good thing. It was something which I was enjoying. So that time that I was starting dating, that you tell yourself, I don't have money. So if I date, I will be a miserable person. So I was avoiding dating. And so I met this lady who was in the same church. She was a pastor's daughter. And we hit it off, we became friends, and she was good. But in the back of my mind, I'm still comparing the person I'm dating with my late wife. I was still comparing her, and it did not work well. I think she could feel it, but this time I was not speaking it out. And we did it, and we said, now we can, I think 2017, 1 year later, we said, we can get married. And we started now planning wedding. We are going to do wedding on 2018 on April. So I took her home, and we went home, and I introduced her home, and we came back. It was on Sunday. Then she called me on Monday, and she told me she wants a break. And I was like, why do you need a break for? He said, no, I think there's something which I think I can't do. I told her, why don't you just tell me what it is? He said, give me a break. I asked her for how long. He said, as long as it can take. African girls, if they tell you they need a break, they are going. They don't want to see you anymore. And that's why I became single again. And I stayed like that. I didn't date seriously after. I think I also dated later, 2019. It's not going to be easy. Losing a loved one, especially a spouse. It's not easy at all. It will take toll on you. It will break you down. Sometimes you will feel that you're okay. Some other time you will be crying. But for you to heal and to be able to move on is a decision. No amount of counseling can be able to change you. Even if the people they cancel. If you don't make the decision to heal, you'll never heal. But the good thing is that there is that hope that you can heal again and be able to stand strong and be able to be the person that you used to be. And if you have kids, focus on those kids and let them not lack anything. Let them not lack love, attention, listen to them, and then be your best friend. I think that's the only thing I can tell people. And the most important thing, never to lose hope. Hope is everything. Because without hope, there's no faith. And without faith, you are done. So, and trusting in God, and most of all, and praying a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I'm like a rubber. I'm resilient. I drop, I bounce back. I know there's good people there. They are there. I know they're there. And I can say that the world is messed up. There's no good wife. God said that we'll find a good wife, find a good thing, and it's me that he has found favor with you. And I know I have found favor with you. I've seen God pull me from mess and making it a better thing. So I know she's still there. And I'm still looking for her until I find her. So I am hopeful. It's okay. I don't. When I think about those challenges, I don't see any challenge. I don't know why. I think it is fun. It is fun being a parent, as long as you have decided to be and make that person, that baby, to be a best friend, and always make sure that you are looking for the best of them. I think the only thing I can be able to say, not challenges. I think the biggest thing is fear that this kid will become a teenager and you'll be a problem. And I think that's a fear which I had, which I overcame. If you could have asked me 3 years ago, I would say I'm really scared of my daughter to be a preteen. But right now, because of the way that I've been able to bond with my daughter, we have talked about everything, about even the menstruation period, because I think that was the biggest thing. How am I going to tell my daughter that there's come a time that you're going to have a menstruation period? What are these things? What is puberty? So I could talk to her, and what I used to do to make it less awkward, I could download some videos from YouTube, and I tell her, watch this one, because now you know you're preteen. It's always there's puberty, there's changes which usually come, but she doesn't know what usually happen to a lady. So I could let her watch those videos, then we discuss. And I had any question that she asks, it's very she like asking a lot of questions, so I could explain to her every detail. I think the biggest challenge is when she was little, because when you move out somewhere and you're gone somewhere, you always worry about your kid. Are they okay? And you feel that nobody can be able to take care of your daughter like you can. You find yourself not trusting anybody. You want to find whether she's okay. I think that's the biggest challenge, trusting people that they can be a good person to my daughter. Yeah. She's 11. She's heading to 12 very soon. Yeah. It's really awesome. I thank God because of that. Yeah. We are best friends, I can say that.